Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's AJ over at Kaiju Live, and in this episode, we sat down with one of the owners of Kaiju Ramen, Michael Hamilton, and legendary artist Matt Frank to discuss the Volume 1 Kickstarter that's live right now. If you end up enjoying this and want to see more, you can go follow us on our Twitch channel for the full 2-hour conversation. I hope you enjoy.
Which raises my first question. What's our language policy tonight?
Oh, okay.
There's no language policy.
Okay, good.
I'm supposed to call this sweet tea in my glass?
Oh,
Right?
that's what it is.
Absolutely, yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
Did I forget my drink? Oh, no, yeah. I got my own sweet tea. Here we go.
I got delicious cane sugar soda that just exploded in my hand.
For those who don't know me, my name is Michael Hamilton. I'm one of the co-creators of Kaiju Ramen Magazine, along with my good friend Travis Alexander, which we started out as a quarterly digital magazine. But we do short-run print versions for those who like that more tangible way of interacting with our content. We are a quarterly magazine, similar to other publications out there. But we primarily focus on the kaiju genre from a perspective of fans. Like, we wanted to have a fan magazine, like not just a magazine that says it's a fan magazine, but a fan magazine, you know? So it started out as a dream back in, I don't know, or a fart of an idea, I guess, back in 2019 when Travis came to me and said, "Hey, let's start a magazine." And I said, "You're effing crazy," basically. So, because I know, like, as someone who's worked sort of as an art director for the last like 8 years, I know like kind of what that entails, like a project like that. And I'm thinking, no, there's no way. And the more Travis started to kind of pour into the idea, the more excited I got. And so I said, you know what, screw it, let's just do it. So we started our first Kickstarter. We got issue 1 funded. We asked for a very humble $900, but we ended up with $3,000. And that took us up to, that took us all the way up to issue 4 and then some, because we have garnered a readership that is very excited about the magazine, just excited about like an independent fan project like this in general. And I think that's something that's really, really great to see. We primarily try to focus on new fans as well as old fans. We do like to focus on artists, which is why the great and wonderful Mr. Matt Frank is here, because we value that art community within the kaiju fandom, and we just wanted to make something kind of honored and stewarded that in the best way that we could.
Yeah, I mean, the magazine got onto my radar specifically because you guys started using artists who are friends of mine. I've known Sean McGinnis for years. Christian Gonzalez, who did that beautiful Godzilla versus Kong cover. He's actually been an art assistant of mine for a long time. He inked a bunch of stuff on Redman. He also inked some of my work on Transformers for Renegade.
Wow. Okay.
And he got his own Godzilla cover for IDW.
The Biollante cover. It's gorgeous.
It's a beautiful cover. I've got it somewhere in my somewhere around here in this general vicinity. It's somewhere, but and then you got Kaiju Hime to do. Was that issue 2 or issue 3?
It was issue 3. It was issue 3. Yeah, Destiny was so wonderful to work with on issue 3. Like, all of our artists have been wonderful to work with. Like, we have not had any complaints at all about working with our artists, and we're just incredibly grateful to all of them. You know, Sean.
Matt's actually here to complain a lot about it.
It's fine. Like, that's I'm here to talk positively about this whole thing, and Matt's here just to bring his level of crazy, so it's fine. It's totally fine. But no, we've been so grateful to all of our artists, like specifically Sean, because Sean didn't know us. Sean took a risk on us in issue 1. He wanted to help us out because he was excited that there was a brand new fan focused magazine, and then all the relationships that we've made along the way this year, like Destiny, Kaiju Hime, we've always been a fan of her work. Chris Gonzalez, I got acquainted with him when we were working on issue 2 together. Fantastic artist, great, and even a better person. And then of course Mike's Monsters that did issue 4 for us. And as someone who is a total a total slut for toy photography. Mike is one of the best.
Even the last couple of years have been really crazy. I think crazy for all of us. Kaiju Ramen was always kind of in the back of my mind, being like, I gotta talk to them. Like we gotta figure something out here. And yeah.
Well, when we were in the planning stages of the magazine, Travis and I were just kind of spitballing back and forth. Like, so if we could get if we could just say, if we get to the point where we can ask any artist in the community to do a cover for us, obviously, Matt, you were near the top of the list, maybe slightly edged out by Bob, though, because
great company to keep there. I mean,
yeah,
I am so nostalgic for Bob's art. Like that is still a bucket list item for me to be able to ask Bob, say, hey, Bob, can you maybe do a cover for us? Yeah, that's gorgeous. So yeah, totally. Like I can't be more grateful than what we have than what I am.
I've been
now
trying to work up the courage to possibly ask Bob for like a header card.
Y'all know that I'm friends with Bob. I could just like talk to him for you, right?
I mean, I might have to pull that card.
Okay.
But yeah, Bob's great. He actually joined our Kaiju Live Facebook group, and he had some sales going on and stuff. A bunch of us picked it up because I didn't even realize. Like it's funny because like you come in waves and stuff like that. Like I hadn't even seen a lot of Bob's new stuff, and I was just like, I need it. Like I need it now.
Yeah. His King Kong stuff that he's doing right now is just gorgeous. I mean, it's amazing looking stuff.
Yeah.
So quick plug for Kaiju Live over here.
Uh-oh.
So this is the first ever Kaiju Live ad in a magazine.
Yeah.
From issue 3 of Kaiju Ramen. So I'm obviously a supporter, and thank you so much for making this happen. I haven't decided if I actually want to physically cut out this paper and like get it framed, or just.
Do you want me to send you the PDF? I will send you the PDF.
No, I can print my own PDF. But like, or do I get like a frame where it would be like flat, so it's the whole book? Like, is that how do you think I should go about that? Because
I don't know. You do
big
you,
deal
man.
for me,
If you want to mutilate my work, that's all up to you.
I don't. That's what I mean. That's why I was asking the professionals what I should do here.
I mean, in my experience, I say just get a copy you can keep for your archives. It's just like, just the magazine, and then just get another copy and then mutilate that one.
I tell you what, AJ.
I think Dad got a second copy. So
I was gonna say I actually have another copy of. I have 3 copies here. First, I ended up with 3 copies for some reason. I can send you one if you need it. I will totally send you.
How did you reach out to Matt? Like, what was the process for coming up with a cover? Like, how did this all go down?
It actually wasn't me. I don't believe it reached out to Matt. I think it was Travis that reached out to you, wasn't it, Matt?
Oh, I remember now. I reached out to y'all and I said, hey, how can I get back issues? And I just said, like, let me know if there's anything I can do to help, and then that was like in
August?
In late 2021. Yeah. And then in September, that was when Travis reached out to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 And he was like,
we were at the point where we were really considering doing a collected issue, because up to this point, like I've been telling people, like, we're still a small, like, 2-man operation, like, and printing a magazine is fucking expensive. Like, not pulling punches here. Sorry, AJ, I ruined your child-friendly rating, but anyway. But yeah, we were like, we got to do this on Kickstarter, because there's no way that we're going to be able to afford to do it otherwise. And we're like, okay, you know what, screw it. If we're going to do this on Kickstarter, we're just going to ask Matt Frank to do the cover. What's funny about that is I think you were already in the process, Matt, and we can get into that in a minute when we show off sketches. But Travis texts me at like 1:00 in the morning. I'm getting ready to go to bed, and Travis says, well, what do I tell Matt? He's asking questions about colors and stuff. I'm like, just let Matt Frank be Matt Frank. Like, just let Matt Frank be. Who am I to art direct Matt Frank? Seriously.
Well, I mean, it's in general, it's as speaking as an artist, it sometimes is helpful to have a little direction. Just be like, is there something y'all are looking for? Because sometimes for guys like us, we become spoiled for choice, and we're just like, well, I don't know what to do. So for me, I just went with my first instinct. I just said, it's kaiju ramen,
Right.
and this image popped into my head of almost like a trick cereal box or something,
Yes.
of kaiju cereal, Godzilla O's, but with ramen. Yeah, that was the first sketch I did. I just cranked that out real quick. I was just like, just get it out of my head so that I don't forget to do it.
Right.
And I just did that.
Was that supposed to be Ultima there, or
initially I was kind of like, do I want to do Ultima? Do I not? And do I want to do kind of a generic Godzilla? Do I want to do a more of a cartoony Godzilla? And I didn't make that decision until like I basically got the green light and was like, okay, I'm doing it. And I haven't drawn Ultima that many times. I've been wanting so desperately to do Singular Point fan art, and I just have not had the time.
That's the image that we used to tease it on social media. I think the first week or so, one of the first inks that you sent us, Matt. Like, I think that was the first thing we put out, just to give someone just to give people a little bit of a teaser, like to show that we're not lying. We really did get Matt Frank to do this book.
Well, I had to start putting that stuff out anyway because I saw that the clock was ticking down, and I swear I'm getting control of my schedule. But
I've been hearing that for a very long time.
Yeah, I think I'm getting some eye rolls from the other side of the room. But it's just, sometimes stuff, I'm so neck deep in other things, and then I'll get a message from Mike, which will be like, "Hey Matt, our Kickstarter's in January," and I'm like, "Oh crap, I did agree to do that, didn't I?" So,
whoops.
But it wound up, it wound up working out. The Kickstarter launched without the art, but then revealing the art a couple days in gave it this nice push. I think
it did,
because if you can have a Kickstarter,
and
we were
the Kickstarter is 100% funded, right? It's
121% funded. Woo! I'm literally I was looking at the Kickstarter before we logged in here. And I got the email early in the day. It was like 120% funded or something like that, which is fantastic. Like it was overwhelming because I think Travis pushed play on the Kickstarter at midnight on January 1. And within the first 24 hours, maybe a little bit over, we had over $2,000 towards the goal. And
congratulations,
we're like,
That's
holy
awesome.
Shit. This is a real thing that we're going to have to do now. And
oh, now we have to do it.
well, speaking of that, before you even got into did you ever even think that you would be doing physical prints, or was that more of people it was more of a demand thing?
It was more of a demand thing. Only because we knew how financially intensive that is, how production intensive that is, and there's a lot of room. Matt will tell you, there's a lot of room for error when you go to physically print something, and that scares the crap out of me. It does. To get when the magazines are delivered on the day when UPS drops them off, to open the box and just fingers crossed nothing's screwed up. It's anxiety through the roof pretty much. But it started out as an idea of doing just a digital magazine because we knew we could pull that much off at least.
Sure.
And then we were going to say, okay, so we'll do a small run of printed magazines. And then they kept selling out and they kept selling out and they kept selling out. I'm like, holy shit, what are we going to do here? And throughout this whole year, people have asked us, when are you going to reprint? And like I said at the top of the show, it's expensive. So we decided to put this volumized issue together because it just made sense, because both Travis and I love comic books, and like for me, I'll buy I'll buy the individual floppies and the trade copies, just because sometimes you get some art, like cover art variations there, and because I'm a crazy collector person. AJ, you would have no idea about that at all.
Crazy collecting person.
No, not at all.
Who?
But yeah, we basically just wanted to put together a nice book for folks with some bonus content, stuff we've been holding on to this year.
I gotta say, the one thing that I love about the physical copies, and it could just be because I've been out of magazines for a while, I like how thick the pages are. Like, it just has like a heft to it. It doesn't feel like your typical, like, oh, let me just breeze through this magazine. Like, I just love, I love the quality of the.
Well, then you're gonna love issue 5, because we're changing our printing process in issue 5. We're going to a different binding, which makes it. We're going to a square binding in issue 5, because that'll be that'll set much better on shelves, because I'm very OCD about like when you get a thick magazine like that and it kind of bulges at the middle, and it never sits totally flat. That bugs me, and that was kind of bugging Travis too. So we're like, what if we change the printing style just a little bit, so that it's more like collector shelf friendly. So that's kind of what we're doing with the issue 5. So you'll probably enjoy that a lot, AJ.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Yeah,
and here it is, the full artwork in all of its glory. God,
it's face melting. It's face melting. How
it's so good. If you don't even want the magazine, guys, do the Kickstarter for the poster.
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter. Just get in there. Speaking of, are there any stretch goals that you're going to be adding?
No, we're trying to get some stretch goals together. I was talking with a friend of mine, Danny DeMano, last night, and he mentioned stretch goals, and it's something we want to do. We're just trying to, where this is a very collaborative effort, like nailing each other down to really sit and talk about it has been difficult the last couple of weeks. So, but yes, we're working on stretch goals.
It's just so funny when because the first thing that comes to mind when somebody mentions stretch goals is you're kind of like, well, I didn't think we'd get this far. And that's not a reflection on Kaiju Ramen or anything. That's everybody.
One question from the chat: how long will the Kickstarter be up to be able to contribute?
February 1st. Midnight on the midnight February 1st. So it should be up till then. So you've got about, I want to say about a little over 2 weeks. Yeah.
Another question from the chat: if they've already pledged, can they now add on to their pledge? Is there a way to actually do that?
I believe so. I believe so. I think
Travis you can go and change your pledge. You can basically you can edit your pledge up to the end of the campaign, I think.
So kick it off to you, Matt. How long did it take the artwork to do?
I'm trying to think. I don't think
from start to finish.
I don't think. Well, I mean, there's a pretty substantial break between the initial sketch and the actual starting of the line art, but I would say altogether, I think I spread it out over the course of a week, and
you did that in a week.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy,
give or take.
I'd be like.
I mean,
it'd take me a week to like draw his hand with chopsticks in it.
You gotta.
But I get it. You're a professional and I can't draw, so that is the difference. This is why you hire professionals.
Well, I had what's the saying go? How's the saying go? It's like I spent X number of years and X thousands of dollars of my parents' money to make this look easy. So, well,
shout outs to parents.
That is totally relatable, right?
Shout outs to parents.
I mean, it's. I mean, I think I fully penciled and inked it maybe in about 2 days, and then the coloring process I think took like another day or two, give or take, just because I mean, despite despite what it looks like, it's relatively simple. I mean, it's just Godzilla, and his base color is gray, and and then the ramen, which is funny because I think I actually had more trouble coloring Godzilla than I did the ramen and the stuff in the ramen, because it's these little objects that are just represented by pretty solid colors. Although I did notice that nobody's got the Kong axe reference yet. Everybody keeps saying
no. I think someone did.
Someone finally did,
but they second guessed themselves and thought, "Oh, it could be weed."
It's
I
definitely
tried to
is.
make
Come
it
on,
not
man.
that.
That's not a Kong accent. Hold on, let's pull this up.
Weed.
Let's pull this up. You
I
can't
mean,
tell me we guess.
That's totally Bud right there. Come on.
There's a little split in the end, which means that because marijuana has a singular point, if you will.
Oh, okay.
And,
All right. So let's see. Let's guess the ramen here. We got Gamera's shell, Mothra's egg, Evera's claw. I guess that's Destroyer's leg.
Yep.
Is that Garamon?
Yep.
Ultraman. Oh my God, what's the Japanese name for octopus? I always forget. It's
Odako.
Odako.
Yeah. And that's all I got. And then your marijuana leaf. But what?
And then what is the name? What is the name? What is the name of the painting? The Japanese.
The Great Wave off Kanagawa.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that touch right there.
I knew I wanted to throw that in there, like just because I actually don't remember what inspired me to do that. I just wanted it to kind of be spilling out a little bit, but it also was like that also gives it a little extra scale because it looks like it would be this 900-gallon bowl. But what's funny is it was actually really fun doing the ramen because I had never done this technique before where I created a layer just for the broth. And I did that by studying how it's done in different anime. I think it was like Food Wars and some other various anime to kind of give it that you have like a solid layer on top of the ramen itself, and then you just make it transparent, and that's the broth. And I really like ramen. The ramen museum in Yokohama is so cool.
I can't wait to go to Japan one day. Once all this COVID stuff finally settles down,
oh man, we were so close. We were this close. It
missed it
last
by
year.
that much.
Well, it was
he beat me to it. I think my favorite part of this, except for the marijuana leaf, is. I'm sorry.
I'm never gonna live that down.
No, it's fine. Actually, I really like the details on Ebera's claw. Like I really and of course the Mothra egg, but I really like kind of the details coming. Like you've got that dripping broth coming off the Ebera's claw. I like that kind of like I like those little finite details. Like artists are these unique little enigma people that kind of work on their own schedule, and I totally get it.
So speaking of appreciating artists, I don't want to get too much into this, but I feel like I have to bring it up.
Do I need to open another beer for this one?
What is your take on what's going on with Artist Alley at G-Fest? As a fan, I'm disappointed to hear what's going on because it doesn't seem like there's really going to be one. And if there is, there's going to be maybe 5 people there. It's
really unfortunate because it's a confluence of different factors. I want to be diplomatic. I want to take a lot of my personal feelings and set them aside, unfortunately, because that's how we got to do business these days.
Yes.
So I won't say that I'm not disappointed, and I won't say I'm not frustrated because G-Fest was really what kind of got my career started. Like I graduated from college in 2008, and my parents, as a graduation gift, paid for me to go to G-Fest and have a table.
Shout out to parents again.
Shout out to mom and dad.
God bless them.
And it was such a huge experience for me. I met so many people who I'm still friends with to this day. So there's a lot of stuff's up in the air. I mean, we should all hope for the best.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Definitely hope for the best and prepare for the worst. But here's my thing: if G Fest has all this going against it, like, is there even gonna be there worth? Is there any gonna shit? I can't talk today. Is there gonna be anyone there that's worth going to see aside from Matt, of course?
Hey, hello.
Oh well, I mean, come on, we love you, AJ, but you're not as important as say like Akira Takarada or something like that. So.
Well,
yeah, I think I'm a step down under that.
Just one step down. There's Akira Takarada, there's AJ, and then there's me.
And then Dad's above both of us.
Yeah, right. Frank's up here somewhere.
Yeah. Frank's an A-lister for sure. Big Frank.
I mean, there are great Godzilla and kaiju centric actors and personalities here in the States that would love to go out. Mm-hmm. I just have no idea if the higher ups at G-Fest even have any interest. Like Kaylee Hoddle, the young actress who played in Godzilla vs. Kong. I've been to several shows with her. She and her whole family are delightful. They travel as a clan. They travel as a little pack, and they're
shout out to parents.
They're awesome. I love their little group. She's going to be doing Hill Country Comic Con here in New Braunfels, Texas, in a couple of months. TJ Storm, the Godzilla motion capture actor,
wasn't he denied?
I don't know what's going on with that.
I had heard a story about that. Again, cannot confirm or deny.
But I did hear it. It's just there's no reason not to invite him. He's part of legacy.
He's part of the lore at this point.
Yeah, that's one of the things that even with the Legendary series that kind of like grinds my gears a little bit is there are so many people that are still just, well, it's not people in suits. So everything that's involved with those movies like don't exist. And it's like I don't think people realize like in 10 years the Legendary Monsterverse for a lot of people is going to be considered like the Godzilla universe. I don't think people grasp that yet of how many new fans this series has created. And like
I've said that, I've said this before on podcasts and things, and it kind of rubs folks the wrong way, but I still consider motion capture tokusatsu. Like I still to a degree consider that tokusatsu.
It's a form of it. Yeah, it absolutely is a form of it.
And if Nakajima was alive today, he'd say, "Hell yes!" Like I don't want to have to lug around that 400-pound suit.
That's the other crazy thing that like the thing that bugs me is like Shin Godzilla is that, but no one says that about that movie.
Right.
Like everyone treats that as if that's like an authentic Toho. Like, and it's like there's not a suit in that movie. It doesn't exist. Even the puppet that they made, they were like, "This looks like shit. Don't use that."
Well, honestly,
I like that puppet.
That is some gatekeepery bullshit, and
it was pretty awesome. But best Godzilla animated series, Singular Point, or 1998 Godzilla anime.
I'm gonna have to go with 98 because it's such.
I'm also going 98.
Write an article for Kaiju Ramen about this.
You should.
It happened here live.
The floor is yours, good sir.
But I did pre-order the Zord Ascension Megazord because that.
Same.
Oh god.
You didn't get. Wait, hang on. Quick question, Matt. Did you get the NFT version or the normal version?
Is there an NFT version?
What the hell is the NFT version?
I get so big.
Stretch goal for Kaiju Ramen NFTs. There it is. That's the next stretch goal. We figured it out.
Like NFTs are difficult, but you know what's not difficult? Supporting Kaiju Ramen, because if you support Kaiju Ramen, you're supporting independent artists, just like Kaiju Hime and Shawn McGinnis and Mike's Monsters and Lisa Navziger and anyone else, and of course C-Guns. Anyone else we want to make sure to showcase next year. Like that's our thing. Like we want to showcase artists, independent artists.
Matt, what do you got, man? What do you got coming up?
I am collaborating with a couple of different artists to do we're doing an anthology comic for being put out through Antarctic Press that I believe is coming out either this month or next month, called Spectre Man Heroes. A lot of you may remember Spectre Man, which was sort of an Ultraman style hero from Japan in the 70s. This actually has a bit of a cult following.
He's the gold one, right?
Yeah, he's gold and bronze.
Yeah.
And But it's not just Spectre Man. It's a bunch of characters from P Productions, which is a now defunct studio that created a lot of really cool tokusatsu in the 70s and 60s and 70s. They did the Space Giants, which we don't have the rights for because that's owned by the Osamu Tezuka estate. But we do have Zaborger. We've got Lion Maru, Tiger 7, and my personal favorite, which is Kaiju Prince, which is about the little jungle boy who rides around on the back of a fire-breathing brontosaurus.
Okay.
So
That sounds fun. Okay.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah. So we're
here
having a
for
lot
it.
of fun with those. I'm collaborating with Hiroshi Kanatani and Ben Dunn, whom y'all might remember from the old days of Antarctic Press, of Ninja High School, and Marvel Mangaverse. And we've got a couple other artists attached as well. And that's coming out. So go to your local comic book store, or maybe, Kaiju Live, they have a Diamond account. So Miss Medusa's Monstrous Menagerie, there are some comic shops that do have copies of that. Austin Books and Comics, I just signed a bunch of them for them, a bunch of copies for them. Yeah, there's probably 9 or 10 other things I'm thinking of, but I have a Patreon. Patreon.com/MattFrankArt.
Well, let's close it with more Kaiju Ramen. So, Mike, take it away.
Sure.
Your final sales pitch. This is it. Nail it, baby.
Honestly, the only thing that I can say is if you value independent creators, if you value artists and independent projects, if you value just contributing to something that's just trying to throw some good out into the world of Godzilla and Kaiju and just trying to love on its fans, go support Kaiju Ramen. I think if you go to our website, it's kaijuramenmedia.com/Kickstarter. There's a little splash page there. It'll take you onto the Kickstarter. Or if you just go onto Kickstarter itself, you should be able to find us there. Just type in Kaiju Ramen Volume 1. But ultimately, I've been sales pitching this thing for a solid month, man. And I am blown away by the response that we've gotten.
You have been on many shows, sir. I think, what is this, the 5th one this week?
This
thank you so much for taking the time. I know
this is number 5. Yeah,
up.
this is number 5.
Well, that about wraps it up for this Supercut. I really hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making it. Let us know in the comments below if this is something that you want to see of more in the future. And again, if you want to watch the full 2-hour conversation, be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So with that,
It really is it's a comedy. It's a dark comedy. It's a black comedy. It's just there's something about it. And I think we forget that because so much of us watch it by ourselves in our homes on our television.